I greatly welcome the opportunity to participate in today's debate. I would like to point out at this stage that I strongly oppose this bill before us this evening. We in Ireland have just come through a 7-month period which has been appalling for many of our older and most vulnerable citizens. Tens of thousands of them have been confined to their homes and have seen a huge decline in their morale, their health and the quality of life as a result. Many have been cut off from their families and communities. I feel, as we said, that hundreds of our older people were left isolated and alone in nursing homes, and in some cases left to die at the height of the coronavirus last April. The lack of planning and consideration regarding the needs of older, more vulnerable people contributed to in no small way to this tragic loss of life. I find it absolutely shocking that against this backdrop, when some of the most vulnerable people in our society turn on their radios these days, they are bombarded with media stories pushing the case, legalising assisted suicide. At the very time we should be encouraging people and putting supports in place to help the morale and well-being of people who have been through so much in recent months, the Dáil is spending time talking about introducing a law that would sanction the ending of people's lives. The title of the bill doesn't convey that the bill will actually permit, which is euthanasia, plain and simple. Euthanasia is a deeply sensitive issue for many older people and those who are most vulnerable in our community. I would like to point out that today is the United Nations International Day for the Older Person. It is a very sad thing that we are debating a bill about ending life rather than talking about assisting and enriching lives on such an important day. There was a letter in the Irish Times last week from Dr. Martin Owens, a medical doctor patched in Ontario in Canada, and I would respectfully urge all deputies, and particularly those on the government side, to read it. In this letter, Dr. Owen pointed out that in Canada, where euthanasia was only legalised in 2016, already 81% of all cases of euthanasia are carried out on people over 65 years of age. A third are people over the age of 80. The Canadian government has proposed a new bill which would extend euthanasia for non-fatal conditions, including many disabilities like cited Patrick.
Can I ask a question of you? Please take your seat, Deputy Tobin. Sorry, Deputy Fitzpatrick, I wasn't speaking to you. Can I just ask you a question? Are you sharing?
No, I'm taking the 4 minutes.
You're taking the 4 minutes. Okay, 2 more minutes on the clock, please. Thank you.
Just like what happened in the other countries that introduced euthanasia or assisted dying, as some people insist on calling it the same as is happening in Canada. Once the law permitted the end of life, very soon it is no longer confined to the so-called hard cases. The door to unrestricted euthanasia is thrown open. Using terms like very restricted bills with lots of safeguards doesn't make it so. The only thing that matters is the text of the bill, and the bill before us this evening will open up the door to one of the most extreme euthanasia regimes anywhere in the world. Having good intentions is not good enough in this situation. What matters are facts. And the facts show that in every country that has introduced similar laws to the one proposed in this bill, it is only a matter of time until there is an unrestricted euthanasia. We have a suicide crisis in Ireland at present, and huge efforts are being made in the areas of suicide prevention. Think of the mixed signals and messages it sends out to people who are struggling with suicide thoughts to hear people on the radio and in the Dáil making a case for assisted suicide. The amount of correspondence I received in recent days from healthcare professionals is unbelievable, all raising serious concerns about the impact a change in the law in this area would have on very vulnerable people in the area. Away from the soft focusing interviews that many of the media have been conducting on this issue in recent weeks, there are people all around Ireland who have been listening to this debate on radio in recent weeks and are distraught and upset at what they heard. I know that the supporters of the bill never intended to add to their suffering, and they would never level this charge. But the message that the medical professions have been sending to TDs in recent days is loud and clear. The impact of what is said in debates like this and the charges to the law in the area can be devastating for the most vulnerable and fragile members of a community who oftentimes start to see themselves as a burden on society with a duty to end their lives. We have to listen to what the experts are saying in this regard. Before I conclude, I raised an issue in the House some months ago back about do not resuscitate order that has been placed on medical charts of some residents of nursing homes without the consent of the residents themselves or their loved ones. It is something that was also raised in a recent HECRO report. Thank you very much.